Hey guys, hey YouTube. I'm not gonna tell you my name because I don't want that shit plastered all over YouTube. I'm gonna talk about how I got off of subby wubbies, or buprenorphine. I've been on opiates for about 5 years, and yeah, it's a nightmare. It is a pain in the ass to get off of opiates. It's one of the hardest things in the world, or at least I thought it was hard. It is definitely hard, but not when you change your mindset and get some common sense smacked into you. And I had that common sense smacked into me by failing over and over and over. Eventually I smartened up and realized there was something deeper going on that I just wasn't realizing or understanding. Now, before I get to the main meat or the main point of this video, I want to explain that this is not a solution for everyone, but I think it's going to be a solution for a lot of people. Just from what I've seen in my own experience with opiate addiction and the way most people are. Most people who are on opiates they're not the healthiest people in the world. And that's why I'm going to talk about nutrition. And consider this like a reminder, but I'm reminding you in a way where I hope this really sinks in, and I hope you really understand how important this is. All right, so let's get to the point here. Imagine this situation. I want you to think about this for a minute. Just visualize that you are this person. All right, you wake up every day and you shoot dope, or you snort dope, or you take oxycodone, or you drink poppy pods, or you take codeine. And then 5 times a day you also happen to eat the perfect meal. You eat you eat vegetables, carrots, peas, cucumbers. You eat fruits and nuts, and you eat like a nutritious madman. And you drink lots of water, and you get all the right proteins: beans, chicken, eggs, whey protein. And does this sound like anyone you know? Because I've never met an opiate addict who is like this. And that's the reason why I think a lot of people who go on Suboxone, they wind up succeeding. Well, not a lot of people, but some people do. And it's almost like they have no idea how they did it. And what happens is all they do is really taper their sub. And they start feeling better, and they start eating better. And somehow they just magically stop using opiates. And it's almost like they don't even realize what happened or how they did it. Well, I'm going to give you my theory on this. All right, but when you take opiates, opiates are probably the most powerful thing you can put into your body. They mess with your hormones, your endorphins, your adrenaline, your cortisol. They have a serious impact on the way your adrenal glands work and the way your body processes hormones. Why do you think for guys, when they take opiates, you can't get a boner? You can't really have sex. And I remember when I was on them, I wasn't even really attracted to women. Like, I had no sex drive at all. And a lot of people think, well, they're painkillers, so they're just kind of numbing me. And yeah, that's going on, but there's something much deeper going on, and that's that they're fucking with your hormones. And you probably have no idea how extensive this really is. It's severe, because I started, when I was using opiates, I noticed I was having symptoms of adrenal fatigue, which was crazy. I was getting hot flashes every single day, and I wasn't even tapering my dose. There were days where I was doubling my dose and still getting hot flashes, and I had no idea what was going on. And I realized this was related to hormones. This had almost nothing to do with opiates. I was eating like an idiot, and on top of that, these opiates were having a serious effect on my adrenal glands and the way they process hormones. And maybe my body is a little different than yours. I'm sure it is. But that gave me a lot of reason to believe that Opiates have a serious effect on your hormones. And you know what else has a serious effect on your hormones? Food. Chicken and vegetables. Or any protein source. But vegetables, oh my God, if you just read about what veggies do for your body, they give you energy, they reduce anxiety, they help you sleep at night, they heal tissues, all the micronutrients you get, they help oxygen go into your blood. But I wasn't really prepared for this video, but if you just go research vegetables and what they do, I think you'd be amazed at the power that veggies have to heal your body, to stabilize your hormones. And protein is a little different. It's more or less used to, it's used for neurotransmitters. Actual hormones are made from proteins. So if you're deficient in certain proteins, how do you expect your body to make certain hormones in the first place? And if you think this isn't important, then look, you could go off and just keep eating like shit, keep eating fast food, keep doing whatever you're doing. Drink caffeine by the gallons. I don't care. Just start eating sugar. Just fucking stick your hands in it and just put it in your mouth and just eat it. If that's what you want to do, that's your life and your decision. But it's not really going to become easier to stop opiates. And this was a thought I had that was really profound for me. And I really thought, what would happen if I just saturated my body with health? What would happen if I started liquefying vegetables 4 to 5 times a day? And I didn't even eat fruits. I said, screw that. Fruits have sugar. A lot of people say they're good, but a lot of people aren't opiate addicts, and they don't have problems with hormones. And any form of sugar really affects your hormones. And that's why if you're trying to come off of opiates, you gotta cut the sugar out. And that isn't just sugar from caffeine and coffee or tea. That is sugar in almost anything. That's sugar in ketchup, high fructose corn syrup, orange juice. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that orange juice and apple juice is loaded with high fructose corn syrup. That stuff is horrible for your body. That alone will induce so much adrenaline and cortisol that when you're tapering these opiates, it's going to compound the effect of hot flashes. It's going to compound the anxiety. Your body needs health. It needs nutrients. It needs micronutrients. I don't like eating anything with sugar, but occasionally when I would liquefy my veggies, I would put some stevia in there with berries just to make it taste better. It wasn't a lot, but just eat anything healthy. Don't get too strict. Just make sure you're eating 4 to 5 meals a day where you have a proper balance of vegetables to protein. Avoid all the shit food. That's what I did. And look, I didn't feel like Superman the first day I started doing this. This took about 2 or 3 weeks, and I was actually feeling worse at first. I was becoming anxious. I felt like, holy shit, I'm coming off opiates and I'm changing my diet. What the fuck is going on? I have no idea what to do. I felt really just fucked up. It was identity shifting shit. But after a few weeks, you get over it and you feel like the same loser piece of shit. And you just keep doing what you're doing. And I stayed focused. And a lot of people don't do that. But I kept eating healthy. And I did this for about 4 to 6 weeks. And out of nowhere, the hot flashes stopped. And I was like, whoa, something is going on here. So I kept eating healthy. And sure enough, I started feeling like so much better. I was sleeping better at night. I was getting more sleep. And I started tapering my Suboxone lower and lower. And one thing I noticed is as long as I stuck to just saturating my body with health and eating tons of veggies and healthy food, it became easier and easier and easier to lower my dose. I honestly feel like my body was getting exactly what it needed, and it was turning my insides into like just this raging machine where I was taking in veggies and it was making me stronger. And this is not psychosomatic. I'm telling you, shit went away. Hot flashes went away. And another thing you got to think about, this is so important. Certain foods you need in order to process vitamins and drugs in the first place. This is why if you read on the back of a vitamin bottle, it says take with food, and it's the same thing for a lot of medicines. And the reason why is simple. If you're not eating food, guess what? Your body doesn't process the drugs in the first place. That's why I'm saying you need to eat food. You have to eat food. And eat lots of healthy food. Just stick to what I told you here. I didn't really, I don't know, I read a few books about nutrition that might have helped motivate me. I guess I could recommend them. Only if people ask, I'll recommend them. But just do me a favor and stick to what I'm telling you to do here. When your body has food, the opiates you're on work like 250% better. And I didn't grab this number from research. I'm making this shit up, but that is the way I felt when I was doing this. You will feel so much better. And because of that, because your body is using these opiates more efficiently, because you're getting the right nutrients, you're getting the right macronutrients, the right foods, proteins, blah, 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 you're going to feel a lot better, which in turn is going to make it so much easier to keep decreasing your dose. And that's another thing is, I remember trying to taper opiates a long time ago, and I would get really low with my dose, and I was always hitting these walls. And I really think those walls had everything to do with my diet. I honestly think that if I was eating healthy, the taper would have been so much smoother, and I would have just flown right past those walls, because as soon as I started eating healthy, it became so easy to taper. Like, there was no issues. I don't honestly, after I started doing this, I don't even remember being tired. And I wasn't tapering fast. I mean, you want to taper slow. I hate to say, but I think Suboxone helped me a lot, because the first thing it did was it took away that compulsive, I need to get high feeling. And I was on Suboxone, and I just felt a little bit more normal, and that's when I started to focus on other things besides getting high. And one of the things I focused on was my diet. And then I became really obsessive about it. And if, I don't know, like I don't think you can taper off of heroin, and I think it's impossible just due to the half-life. So if you're on a strong, full agonist opiate like heroin or morphine or oxycodone, I highly suggest you get off of that shit and go on to Suboxone. And you will hear a lot of horror stories about Suboxone, but there's a lot of dipshits. So you have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. And you have to realize, wow, a lot of these people are just retarded, and you have no idea what their lifestyle looks like. I'm telling you that I honestly think this is going to be your best bet. If you want to get off this shit, do what I did. Because I tried. I was on opiates for 5 years. For the last 2 years straight, I was trying to get off of them. And I did not have any success until I changed my diet. This was huge for me, huge. I guess there's nothing else to talk about for now. If I get any interesting ideas, I'll make another video. But for now, let me just try to sum up what this video was actually about. What I would do is, I go to the supermarket and I buy those 1 pound bricks of mixed veggies. I stick with those because, I mean, you could buy a pound brick of corn and a pound brick of whatever. I actually suggest staying away from corn. This is going to sound crazy, but when your hormones aren't working good, your digestive tract doesn't work good either, and your body has a serious issue digesting certain foods. Corn is one of those foods. Even with as healthy as I've been eating, if I eat corn, it comes out looking just like corn. And I know that's gross and disgusting, but it's the truth. And it just further demonstrates that my body's still healing and it's still getting better. And God, if you heard me fucking like 6 months ago, I was a mess. I don't know how I sound now, but I was a mess 6 months ago. Eating healthy has had so many positive effects for my life. I don't know, you probably are still going to have other crazy little habits, and that's up to you to fix, but I'm trying to look at this from a purely biological standpoint. One thing I majored in college before I majored in psychology was chemistry. So I like keeping things as common sense as possible. Like, I'm having an issue. There has to be a solution. There has to be something I'm missing. I have to be closed-minded and just not looking at things the right way. So please, go buy a crap load of veggies. Go buy some chicken and some eggs, and keep doing this week after week. Just stock up on this shit. And it might be a pain in the ass to cook all this food, and that's why one thing I did was I threw all these veggies in a blender, and I would throw like 3 or 4 pounds of veggies in there, and I would blend it down, and I would add some stevia, just a little bit of berries just to make it so I could drink it, but it honestly doesn't taste that bad. In the first place, it depends what kind of veggies you're putting in there. Don't put peppers and onions. This should be common sense. Put cucumbers in there, celery, carrots, things that don't have a strong taste. And if you add just a little bit of berries, just a tiny little bit, it's going to immediately dominate the flavor. And I would make this crap up by the gallons, and I would put it in my fridge for 2 or 3 days, and I would drink it like 4 or 5 times a day. You don't have to stick to just liquefied veggies. If you feel like actually steaming the veggies, that works too. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. I want people to actually give this a shot and give it a real shot, especially if you think you're in any way ignorant to diet and nutrition. This is the #1 thing I recommend. So many addicts think about taking Xanax and Ambien, and they get mixed up and they get other addictions, and they come off of opiates and they wind up with 4 or 5 new addictions. I've seen it happen. That's why, please be smart and just listen to this video. I'm not a doctor, but I've struggled with opiate addiction, and there is nothing I can recommend as much as this. And leave comments. If you hated this video, let me know. If you liked it, let me know. If you have any questions, you might give me some material to make new videos. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I made this video, and people are going to know now. So thank you for listening, and have a good life. Bye-bye.